Yeah. Oh, sign in first, guys. If you haven't, it's mandatory. No, I'm just kidding. Does it work? I don't know if it works. If it doesn't work, that's Jerry's fault. Huh?
Why the link is broke, please?
No, it works. It works.
Oh,
You're broken. I don't know. I just got it. I changed the color because the grain for CSG and we're not, like CSG. No, I'm kidding.
oh wow. Oh,
You
wow.
see what I did there? You see what I did there?
Why the insecure sign lock?
It's secure. It's HTTPS. All right.
Yeah, but that's not secure.
We unlocked it though. That means we're like powerful enough to unlock.
We got from this old one that like automatically fills this. So I'll give that to you guys next week.
I don't. Who's presenting next week?
Next week is
Crypto.
You guys have a template slides.
Yeah. Oh man, this is mine. I made a mess with it. So.
you gotta ask Ascari for that.
Huh? Are you mocking me? Because I don't know how it works.
No, you actually need to work it.
Oh yeah, because you don't have
He's
that.
running a Gen 2.
You're not running Windows. Sorry, forgot. All right, should I start?
Gotta build this.
Hey guys, today I'm doing the CTF workshop, and today we're going to cover the web category. As you may know, that web category is a really broad topic that sometimes you see the result instantly rather than sitting in front of binaries and assemblies for hours, which is, I don't do that. This is my handle. You can ping me on Discord. Spicy Chicken. Go by Windows Guy or Web Guy or whatever. This is my website. Not the web guy. Yeah, I'm not the web guy. Just because I like Windows more now. My focus now has been going towards Windows and the pen testing. So if you are interested in that, hit me up too. Today's topic we're going to cover HTML. What is HTML? And the basic HTTP request and response, and some, a little bit of JavaScript, but I won't go into too depth about it. And some of the tools I use, and today we're going to cover mainly, oh, sorry, forgot to take his name out, but we're going to talk about cross-site scripting, and cross-site scripting is probably one of the most common leveraged vulnerabilities by attackers to kind of trick the victims to do some of the client-side attack, right? Like the victims click on the link and then go to some other website and execute some other, and then give the attacker some information, which I'll show you later in the slides. Which is HTML? HTML is not a programming language, just so you know. It stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's used by browser engine to render content. Back then, the one thing to know is that by HTML itself, it's static. That means you see what you see. We're just gonna wait for that DVD too. There we go. Okay, so HTTP request and response. I don't think I see it well enough. Let me show. So basically, you get this called get, post, delete, or the methods that a HTTP request can use to either update information, to request information, to update information, and to upload information, etc. And you see the 200, 302, 301, those are the status code, right? The HTTP server is going to give a response to you once you send a request. And we'll see that later. So get is most commonly used because that's how we communicate with the server to ask for information. And then, but one thing you need to realize about the get request is that you put something in the URL bar, and sometimes you will notice that some of the ASCII characters will get converted to like a percentage sign and with some random number attached to it, appended to it. That's because that URL only allows non-reserved ASCII characters and safe ASCII characters in there. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Sometimes in some of the CTF problems, like entry-level ones, they will you will have to URL encode your characters inside of like if you're using tool like Burp and stuff. But I don't use Burp. I use developer tool. So I mean I use Burp sometimes. Post is where you kind of like give information to the server, saying whenever you do a login, you post your passwords instead of putting in a URL, your clear text password or something. But one thing to do know is that you can do both at the same time. Actually, there's no conflicts if you want to do that. Another thing I want to show you is that headers, right? So we got HTTP request, and in the request, you will specify some of the headers. You can see this user agent, and Mozilla and Gecko and the webkit. I believe sometimes you'll see, I don't know why, but sometimes you'll see webkits and stuff. Basically, just telling so the server, backend server, will receive those information, and depends on what it wanted to do. It will do something with it, and it give you the according response page. And also another CTF challenges you may encounter sometime is that you can cut the headers off using tools like curl. Something like curl allows you to. Okay. Well, that's the reason why you don't use Windows, because you can't. What's that? Dash L? Yeah. Oh shit. I think I don't have curl installed. Or do I? You never know, yeah. But I can show you here. Get Linux? I have Linux, don't worry. Look at this. I have Linux, right?
But it's not powered on.
Don't worry about it. You don't use it. You don't usually use it, right? It's like a super powerful weapon. You don't want to use. You don't want to show people. Okay. Dash. I think it's dash H dash big H. Yeah. Dash H dash header. They won't work. Essentially, what you can do is to go back to this slide, to change any of those headers or add your own headers, but you may know that it may break the request so that you don't get the response. And web crawler sometimes, well, if I use curl, let's say if I use the curl there, it would append a user agent as curl, not like this Mozilla and Gecko and stuff. So one thing to notice there. The resource I want to point you to is the MDN web doc. It's Mozilla site, and they have all the headers documented pretty well. If you don't know what the header means, you can always inspect, and there is like a little question mark here. You can just click it, and it will direct you to the page. So that's a useful tip there. Yep, and we're covering this pretty quickly. So JavaScript. JavaScript is used by browser JavaScript engines like Chrome. Chrome uses Chrome VA, and a lot of browsers tend to use that as well. But superior browser like Firefox does not use VA, Chrome VA. And the difference is that VA is fast, but it kind of like compiles all the JavaScript into machine code and SpiderMonkey, which is what Firefox uses, comparing to like intermediate bytecode, which a little bit slower. And this is the layer graph of how the JavaScript and browser works together. So you got a user interface, right? And browser engine rendering something, a browser engine, and the rendering engine rendering some HTML code and stuff. And you got a JavaScript engine at the end to render in JavaScript. So that's just the engines and JavaScript engines. Do note that JavaScript engines sometimes can be vulnerable to there are JavaScript sandbox escapes, 0 days that people can execute like actual malicious code on your computer when you click on the website. So that do exist. And JavaScript is what brings the HTML, like I said, HTML static content to dynamic. It can does all sorts of things. It's like a complete programming language right now. I don't like JavaScript because it's too much, and you can code. Actually, you can code backend. You can use Node.js, go backend and front end JavaScript or whatever. And the topic is about security for this workshop, and then cross-site scripting. People known to pop cross-site scripting with the alert one box, which you can vividly see here. It's not very big, but I can show you in the browser of what it looks like. Right there. Yes. Okay. Well, I'll talk about why it's bad in a second. So just a quick overview on the cross-site scripting. There are mainly 3 types of cross-site scripting that you kind of need to know, but in reality, those can be chained together with a lot of different vulnerabilities, or not vulnerabilities, with different attacks in the web category. And that's what usually you need to do, because the web challenge, sometimes in the CTF, will have a backend code robot written up, and you submit some link, and then the bot is going to go retrieve the link and then visit the site, and you get the flag there. So there's reflected, and which means like data, you kind of where the GET request, you entered data into the URLs, and the backend server rendered and inject the JavaScript you entered to the HTML page. And once you've done that, well, the user or the victims will actually see if they go to the source page. But obviously, you want to hide it as well as you can. The user will see it as the response page that you injected something malicious there. So that's reflected. It's very, reflective, because you can see the result instantly. And the stored is where the database comes into place, where, let's say, a Facebook comments, right? Like you click on the Facebook comments, you want to view comments. Actually, this one is the MySpace, like the MySpace hack, where we'll see the video of him talking about it. And the DOM base, which is the HTML DOM tag, gets rendered in Fly, and the user does not see the malicious cross-site scripting JavaScript you injected, so it's considered more a little bit stealthier. But just you need to know that it's all cross-site scripting, which means to trick the victim to execute JavaScript. In this case, JavaScript, but client-side attack could be a lot more than JavaScript, right? It could be word macros or something, just to trick the victims to do unintended stuff. And this is just a quick overview on how it works. Reflected, right? It received a HTTP request and include the data and immediately response in a safe way. Here's a graph. I don't know if you can see it well. So right, the attacker like this, like a website, and then you search your keywords, and then the script tag is what kind of defines where your JavaScript starts. Script, something malicious, probably alert one right here. Let me put a laser down. doesn't like it. So probably alert one here and goes to the victim browser. So let's say in Discord, someone found a real site containing that cross-site script vulnerability. You send your friend the website that contains a vulnerability with this tag in there, and he clicks on it, and the browser is going to load the page and inject the JavaScript into the browser itself, and it executes some sort of code, like maybe redirected to a Rickroll YouTube video, something. Just don't do anything bad to your friend. Yep, and then gets the yeah. The DOM one is kind of similar. You can either, so for the commenting on someone else's page, right? That's going to be the post request. So you enter it in the post request, and it could be a GET request too. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes general it's going to be a post request, and the comments get stored in the backend database, and then gets reflected back when someone else visits the page. So you get the idea that if I injected something into the database and it gets reflected back to the website when someone else is visiting it, right? And they're gonna execute my JavaScript too. So the DOM one, did I just cover the DOM one? But the DOM one is basically JavaScript inside of HTML DOM object, where the differences between reflected is that it just the victim won't see the results, won't see the response, which contains the malicious code. And here comes the key part I want to talk about, because usually people pop alert one, but they don't know what to do next, right? How do you weaponize it? And you can do a lot of things with cross-site scripting. The most obvious one is going to be stealing the cookies. In case you don't know what cookie is something that the server keeps the static HTML page, keeps the session, because by HTML itself it's stateless, which means it doesn't know who you are and what you're gonna do or what you were doing. So that the cookies is what give that feature to the backend server. So if you steal that and you put it into your own cookie jar and you go to the website, and then it's gonna log into it's gonna log you into as the victim. I have a very cool YouTube video I want to show. He talks better than me, so. Okay, I don't want you to see my personal stuff. So, just put in a private browser. Always do that. There's no sound.
Is not to explain what an XSS is. You could potentially find one. Instead, we are going to focus on common bug bounty and found XSS. That's great, but so what? What's the impact? But before we do, the purpose of these videos is to explain theory for a specific security topic. Once we solve relevant catch the flag problems. One to solve these problems is 247ctf.com.
Okay, that's just.
At the end of this video, a 247ctf challenge will be XSS vulnerabilities of all types are everywhere. During a typical penetration test, the gold standard XSS proof of concept is the fabled alert 1. What does anything they like in this XSS context? Let's run through a few examples, starting with hijacking a user session. Let's say you have identified an XSS vector want to gain access to someone else's authenticated application. Session hijack could be performed, for example, by exfiltrating cookies or associated local storage data from the end user via JavaScript to some remote server. Configuration, you could then load and start browsing the application, masquerade. Well, there is no session hijack. You could, for example, you could read.
Just want to quick stop real quick. This is what you can do to replace the actual window that they're viewing right now, as you see on the left, top left, and you can redirect to like Rickroll, if you want.
Redirect the user to a similar. They're actually interacting with your phone. For example, you could have used the ECSS vector to monitor all of the user's actions within. Site-wide catch-all lookup, rather than directly modifying the underlying application. Updating the user's credentials, placing some order, or changing payment information, all unbeknownst to the in the user's browser to make these authenticated but authorized changes on the user's behalf. No interaction is required from the affected user at all. Even with additional protections, such as cross-site request forgery or CSRF tokens, this attack can still be performed. And associated with that session, the user knows their CSRF tokens. So the XSS operating within the browser, you just need to modify your JavaScript to read, process, and then use the CSRF token. That one is great, but changing payment details is even better. The approaches we have discussed so far all work when you already know what the application. Demonstrate an XSS's impact by vulnerable application at all. To identify and uncover these unknowns within the vulnerable application.
I'm going to stop that there, because today we're going to cover the basics. Just here's some of the tools I use for when we are doing the CTFs for web category, especially. Always the first thing to do is just open the, or I guess the first thing to do is open a source code, right? The source code page to see if there's any code snippet that they try to show you on the backend database or on a backend server on how the challenge works, and you go from there. And you also need to use I like to use the built-in developer tool because you can. I'm sure a neat trick. Because when you're using this developer tool, that you can see the network traffics right here with the network tab, and you get to see different methods that each time you visit a link that it will send to. And what's the best is that you can add it and resend from here directly. You don't need to open the burp suite or anything like that. You just need to put in the data query right here, or you can change the methods to post request body, right? You can also change the header here, add headers, all kinds of stuff from here. That should be enough for the web challenge. And since we have time left, I want to showcase live demos on how it works. So big shout out to Try Hacking platform for providing the box over here. In case you don't know what Try Hacking is like an online training platform where you can kind of deploy the boxes that they created, and each box will teach you different content and knowledges that you will use for the CTF challenge. That's pretty good. Like it a lot. I'm ranked, not to brag, pretty high there. So we're gonna focus. So all you see right here on the sidebar is like all the different challenges, right? But today we're gonna cover mainly Crosstalk Scripting, ECSS, because last time when I tried to cover like 2 of them, it was like 2 hours. So no, thanks. Oh, you can see already those some of the scripts. Oh, I don't want to. Okay. Well, I guess I can show this. Never mind. So if I put my name as Henry, check what happened here is that we see that it outputs content as hello Henry. Right, that's good. And I don't know if y'all noticed. It's very hard to notice that something else changed, right? So we're gonna open up the developer tool real quick, and we are going to type it again. Henry. Oh, never mind. It won't. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So you see right here is that it's another GET request to this URI per se. And what it did, look at this. It matches Harry123 matches there. Harry123, right? So that can we inject some HTML there? If you don't know what HTML is, you can quickly pick it up in the school. Great contents there. So let's see. And I click on send response. Harry123. Oh, one thing you also wanted to do is that you can always click on the response tab to just view the response from here, from the developer tool. It's very helpful. You don't have to double click on it and open it like that. So what does that mean, right? We can inject arbitrary HTML tags in there. Maybe we can try to inject something like, well, for the sake of demonstration of this one, we're gonna just try to see pop alert one box real quick, see if that works. And it did. So as you can see, it popped alert one, but when we see the source code, can I say hello? Okay. Hope it's there. Okay, there we go. So you can see it actually in the source code that we are injecting it, and the response was indeed included our malicious code right here. So what does that mean, right? So I'm logged in as admin right now. I'm trying to open up another tab real quick. Let's say I'm an admin right now, and someone sent me the link to this website with, this URL right here, script alert 1, or nah, I don't want script alert 1. I'm to pull out the weapon that they discussed in the video. I want to put something like this instead. So this is my IP. It's an internal one. Don't try to hack me, by the way. You won't get there. This is my internal IP. But would try to hack me. And what it does is it's using a API called fetch. In case you don't know what it is, right? Another good resource to go to is MDN, like I said. Mozilla, all the best. So you can see what it is and how to use it from there. Basically, essentially, it's gonna go send a GET request to the URL specified right here. And what else can do is that since the object is document. It's DOM, so you can go document dot I think cookie. Right, like I said, cookie is something that the server knows that you're something that server keeps in mind that to track who you are. Okay, let's see if it was. I don't know if it was in actually. Well, let's see. So what you want to do right here is it's you're exfiltrating data, right? You want to get this data essentially somehow, because if you do alert, then you're not going to be able to see this cookie. You want it to somehow exfiltrate it, and then in the pen test workshop, I think you can learn some of the ways of exfiltrating data, but we're just going to cover a simple one from HTTP right here. Here is suffering right there. See him? Sorry, the UAC. Okay. The what? Yeah, of course. I don't want to bypass that. Did not get the request. Good. No, sure.
Why don't you just copy that script?
No, I didn't. Well, what I would do is.
Copy the script into the next one. Because you found the URL and code it.
No. Oh, do I? Actually, I thought we did. Well, thing is, we'll automatically, I think, encode it for you, even though it doesn't show it's encoded, but in the backend it will show encoded. Okay. It did not work for a second, but oh, they left. They didn't even stay for the challenges. What time is it? What time we have? 8:30. Okay. Well, we'll just inject it here. Oh man, turn off the server. Okay. That did not work for some reason, but. No, right? But I did. That's what I did. But it still didn't work. I'll try the DOM one though. What's that? True. It's all about the trials. Oh, there it goes. So now you can see that GET request is indeed sent. So now if I change it to document.cookie, right? It's gonna append my cookie. Hopefully, there we go. There we go. To my server that I own. In reality, you would use something like a webhook, or I think that's called webhook. Webhook or something. API. No. But in reality, you want to spawn up your own, or you can use your own server. Or there are third parties that do that for you, which catch your request and give you the response back. Huh? Yeah, a lot of third-party tools that. Also, one thing you can rip off from Burp Suite, I would say, is that you can use this. They have challenges. They have like labs. You can go in and spawn up your own kind of like server. It's public faced, so you can leverage that, kind of abuse that, but don't quote me there. I don't know if we're okay. In case if anyone want to try something out, I don't want to show this right now, so you can go and play with it. This is the URL. I don't know if you can see it well. It's something that we rolled out last night. If you want to try to pop alert one box, you're more than welcome to. And it's not going to be as easy, so you should try that and screenshot it and share it to us in Discord so we can recruit you. But yeah, that's just it's for the people who have left already, so they don't get that tough challenge. But you should try it out now. I'll leave it for I guess 10 minutes. So what you do is try to go to this website right here. Put it here. Okay. I'll put the link in the general Discord so that everyone can go grab it and then try to pop alert one box. And Origami, do we have any prize for that? Do we have any prize for that, Origami? Okay, well you get a bag of Cheetos next time. But yeah, try to pop alert one box. Always good to view the source code to see if you can pop one. And sorry, do you want me to? I'll put the URL link a little bigger. It's right here. There we go. So try to pop one and screenshot it. Don't try to be sneaky and pop it in your browser developer tool, something like that, because we can see it. Are we gonna recruit it if they pop it? Alert one or anything. Just pop alert box. Alert 2. Anything will work. No. Has anyone succeeded yet? I mean, it doesn't matter which one you pop. You can just pop alert box. There you go. There he goes. You might want to. Okay, I'm gonna delete that one real quick because it might be a spoiler, but nah, it's okay. A little bit though. It's okay. Yeah. So we already got one succeeded. Don't try to DDoS the site, please.
Is that a challenge? Right.
It's not a challenge.
Really? Someone DDoSed it already? That fast?
No, it just only works with. I'm not getting much.
Really? It works. Okay.
Huh? I literally I can access it too.
Can you auto log real quick? It works. It works. I'll show you it works in a second. We'll wait till 8:16. Come on, guys.
You should check Discord.
Check Discord. Stream chat.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. 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 Give me a thumbs up. Anyone else did it? So this is essentially what kind of like a real web challenge will look like. It's not going to be as easy as script alert 1 or something, and they just reward you a flag. There is always going to be some struggles, some obstacles there, like filtering, and the small details that will get you there, which I highlighted already. If you look on the screen. What's that?
So one thing to add to like these types of web challenges, there a lot of these when you're looking at kind of how these challenges are made, generally there's going to be like some link or some area where you can actually give a link, and then that will actually cause a bot on the back end to run that, open up that link.
Yep.
And that's kind of how they then it lets you be able to extract some, exfiltrate some cookie or some flag.
Yeah. Usually, web challenges, there are a lot of other factors that are in place, like CSP, kind of security policy, which kind of like tells your browser that this kind of JavaScript that are now allowed, and certain sorts of the JavaScript are allowed. Only some certain sorts of JavaScript code are allowed to be run. And all kind of stuff, and there's other ways to bypass that. So it never ends. It's a really broad topic. And this is the PHP code, which is used in the backend server to kind of receive your request to the website. And for this challenge, we code up something like this, a nice submit form where it will do this kind of like a request for you. But in reality, some of the challenges may require you to use curl, something like that to customize your request, and then send it. And if you want more hint, not hint, but a resource, Burp Suite has a good cheat sheet on Crosstalk Scripting, which you can utilize. It's fully interactive or dynamic, whatever you call it, and you can select the tags you want to use. Right, there are all different tags instead of script. Right, script tag right here instead of this one. And there are all different events, right? JavaScript events, right? Whenever you mouse hover over it, or whenever you click on it, whenever you key press or key up, download, something like that. And you can adjust to according to the browser too. Two more minutes. Sorry for anyone if you don't know like PHP code and stuff. You mainly don't need to worry about it. This is you mainly need to worry about these two lines right here. The replace is descriptions right here. We'll replace the string. Replace the first string with the second string for whatever you input there. So if you input a script like literally this right here, it's gonna get replaced by nope. And in another variable L name, which is last name, it's gonna get replaced by try harder. Maybe look at the source code. So just saying that script tag won't work here. So and this is actually a great way of learning. Like you don't know this stuff, and it's testing you on cross-site scripting, and there might be some filtering in place. You can always Google bypass cross-site scripting filter. They will, and then you can use like the pre-made or pre-written scripts you can inject or payload you can inject. I don't like script kiddie that way, but okay. Does anyone want more time on it? No? You all need more time? You're on it? You don't know how to do it? Okay. Does anyone else want more time? No? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to review the answer real quick. So this is a submit form. Quick review the source code that, it's just sending, it's just sending the variable and the URLs with the get request. We can see it clearly right here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And what's the top URL bar? Or open this real quick. So always open this one. And it's sending the variable app name with a value equals to 1, 2, 3, and last L name variable value has equal to 1, 2, 3. That's what we entered here, right? And it didn't get displayed here. It just says, this is the web workshop. Hello to nothing here. So, and then we know this is kind of like a reflected thinking. So we go to the source code. We say, okay, we see it here. This is the web workshop. Hello to, and there is a different HTML tag in place, which the browser doesn't know what it is, right? It's unclosed here. You can see it's unclosed here. So whatever we enter into it, it won't get displayed here. So first thing we want to do is to close this tag like this. So now if we want to enter like something like last name, as I say, spicy, right? We submit it, and we can see that it gets displayed. So we go back to the source page again. Look at this. Spicy is displayed, but the first name we enter 1, 2, 3 was included inside the tag. But we get the idea is that we need to close this one. As you can see right here, it's unclosed. So in the first name, we can do something like, let's say, script alert 1, right? Like we showed in the case. Inspect it again. Boom. Script alert 1. Oh, oops. Yep. Oops. I need maybe lower. Oh, just this one. Classic. 1, 2, 3. Okay, size.
Wow.
What happened? Okay, someone is doing something to it. Please don't. Okay. Thanks. Just me? Okay, my internet might get cut off there. Script alert 1. Script, right? Okay, what do we got, right? Hello? Okay, we get some of the information. That's good. It's always good. So that we successfully passed the first gate, I'd say. Hello, try harder. Maybe look at the source code. So we know that something happened here, right? Because this is matching with what's being displayed. And so what happened, right? And if we don't know what this is, right? It's PHP. Okay, I know what PHP is. And this looks like a function call right here, right? And we go copy this. We go to PHP. And we see that it's documented in the PHP manual, right? The description is perform a regular expression search and replace. So if you don't know what regular expression is, there's all tons of sources to learn it. But what it does in this case, it's going to replace the arrow script ignoring the case, which is either uppercase or lowercase. Hi. Oh, okay. Sorry. Give me. Okay, 5 minutes. Thank you. Yeah, we get kicked out. So you gotta close the tag, and you cannot use the script tag in this case, right? Because it's gonna get replaced by those strings. So what we can do, we can use something else tag like script, and we can trigger an event called on error. And what we assign to that on error event, it's kind of like an actions that we'll do, right? It's gonna be alert 1, and we close the tag this way. So the image source obviously is not valid, and it's going to trigger on error event, and it's going to pop alert box for us. Please. Okay, good. It's always good. That means we're doing something. Okay. So close the tag and slap it in. Okay, and now I did. Okay. Who's doing something in the backend server? Or is it just me? Just me? But you get the idea, right? You need to close this and pop that blur one. Yeah, no. It's broken for some reason. Someone's being really smart right in the room right now.
It's just.
But thanks everyone for coming. Stay tuned for next week.